Really glad that you're here. Today is our last session of our five-part series of Healthy Families Cooking Together. And Heriberto and I had an announcement to make that we were finally successful in getting our workbooks that we've been promising you. We've got them printed, and today and on Monday morning we got them out to the mail room at our district, so they're on their way to you. We sent you a copy of the adult workbook and the student workbook, and that way you can work together with your student to go through some of the things that we've already talked about and covered in this series. And it's actually really a great little workbook to work through. It asks you some questions and things you can fill out, and it really gives you a lot of pointers and things to help with preparing family meals together. Just a reintroduction, I'm Lisa Vorse. I'm the dietitian with the Twin Rivers Unified School District. And we want to also mention that there's that we ask that you mute your microphone when you're here, which everybody is doing right now. And then please participate, use the chat box, give ideas of what works in your family, and let us know and share how it's going for you. We also want to thank Health Education Council and Joanna Ramirez for joining us for this series and being not only with funding, but also with nutrition content and everything. So she's going to be sharing a lot today too as well. And I want to just review and a reminder about nutrition services that we would like for you to check out our website for more information about what's going on in our department and what, and look for our menus and all kinds of, we have a Facebook on our website that has all the latest and greatest information. So don't forget about that. We also wanted to just show a few upcoming things that are coming up on our menu, such as Turkey Gravy Day. And you can ask your students about Turkey Gravy Day. It is like the best day of the year when we have turkey gravy. So we'll be doing that on Thursday, November 4th for school lunch. So make sure that your child gets school lunch that day. And then we also started a new thing, School Celebration Day, where at the last Friday of the school month, we will be having a little treat on the menu, just a little something for the students to celebrate, maybe birthday parties or successes and different things. We know it's been challenging with all the masks and all the social distancing and things that we wanted, nutrition services wanted to provide a little treat, a little something, a little fun on the menu. So be looking for that as well. Make sure you follow up with your students and ask what it was. Our first treat will be a Rice Krispie treat, and that will be served this Friday. Also, we have holiday meals coming up. When we are closed for school starting, I believe it's the 18th and 19th, and then all that following week before the Thanksgiving holiday, we know that a lot of families really enjoy and rely on school meals. So we have put together an opportunity for you and all families with children 18 years and younger to come out and pick up school meals, breakfast and lunch, for, I think it's a 3-day kit. So you'll be able to come out and get several meals. And I think that includes like a small turkey roast, a half gallon of milk, and some other items. So please join us and come out to school sites to pick that up on November 19th from 11:30 to 12:30. It's going to be curbside, just like we did when schools were closed and we were serving meals out on the curb, and you just drove in through the parking lot area and you were able to pick up your bag of food. We'll be doing the same thing at these sites. So please look for more information from your text and Aries text and on our website for that, as well as our Facebook. But I did want to share that with this group too. Also, we just finished National School Lunch Week and School Meal Strong poster contest, and a shout out for Johnson, who has their posters all over the cafeteria that they created to celebrate the school meals and how school meals make them strong and help and give them success. And here's just a few samples of the posters that students turned into the cafeterias to help decorate the walls. And I have to tell you, I was really impressed with not only the artwork and the skill, but also how students really did include fruits and vegetables into their posters. And they weren't asked to. And so it was just that I feel like it makes me happy to know that our students are counting fruits and vegetables and that balanced diet into what they think is healthy. So you can kind of get a view of some of these posters. Anyway, we really enjoyed it. So now we're going to go over to Chef T. She's going to introduce our last recipe in this series. And we're really excited, and the students are really excited to work with her. So we're going to share it with her next.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the last class in the Healthy Families Cooking Together series. Today, we're going to make pancit noodles. Pancit noodles is a noodle dish that originated in the Philippines, and they make it with rice noodles. And I thought it would be fun to do something today so that you could find out how to do quickly, and you don't have to cook the noodles. And it's just a real quick stir-fry dish. So, but there are a lot of things that you may not recognize in the recipes. So let's go over our recipe real quick. And before we do that, we're using rice noodles. Rice noodles, they come in all different kinds. The thing is, you don't cook rice noodles. All you do is put them in water and you soak them. The thing with them is that some require cold water, some require boiling water. So you have to read your package to see what kind of water you need. And it's as simple as taking your noodles, putting them in a bowl, and pouring water over them. You just put the water over them. Make sure you push your noodles down so they're actually submerged in the water, and the water will soften your noodles. Different packages have different instructions. So make sure that you read the instructions on your particular package so you can do it the right way. And before we go over all the other things in the recipe, I want to go ahead and get these in the water so that they can go ahead and start soaking. Okay, so these are rice noodles. You can also use bean thread noodles. Bean thread noodles look just like this, but they're made out of soybeans. And to reconstitute them, it's the same process as reconstituting these. You just get them in and pour hot water over them. You just let them sit and soak in the hot water. Okay, also on this recipe is a thing they call Chinese sausage. And to find it, you have to look for just what it says. You see the package, Chinese style sausage. You can't really find it in a grocery store. Like I couldn't find it in Safeway or Save Mart or Walmart or anything like that. I went to 99 Ranch. You can also find it at KP International Market. And they have them. This one is actually made with pork and chicken, but they have some that are just made out of pork and some that are made just out of chicken. If you look at them, they kind of resemble to me Slim Jims. Okay, and to cook them, you take them and you actually steam them. But we're not going to steam these today. We're going to stir fry it in with our pancit. So your recipe is very simple. It requires olive oil, garlic, a chopped onion. Once again, we're using vegetables. We got frozen vegetables as well as fresh vegetables. We have some fresh celery and onions, some fresh cabbage, some fresh carrots. And the thing that we have to remember when cooking these things, when we cook them, always remember we're going to cook from the hardest thing to the softest. So when we start cooking our vegetables, the onions and celery are harder to cook. So we're going to start with the onions and celery, and we'll go to the carrots and stuff like that. And all in between there, we're also going to be putting chicken in there too. Okay, so it's 3 cups of mixed vegetables. This, if you get a bag of frozen, that actually is 2 cups. So you would get, if you want to use a whole bag of frozen, use a whole bag of frozen, then get some, maybe some carrots or some cabbage to put in there to bulk it up. Okay, chicken breast cut into small strips. It's up to you whether you want to use a big chicken breast or a little chicken breast. And again, it's up to you how much chicken you want to put in your dish. And all you're doing is taking them and cutting them into strips so they look like this, nice and thin. They'll cook really quick. Okay, and then we have soy sauce. What I got is a low salt soy sauce. It tastes just like regular soy sauce, but it's not quite as salty. And so I like this one a little better because it doesn't have as much salt in it, and it helps bring out the flavor. You can taste the flavor a little bit more of the dish, and it doesn't taste quite so soy saucy, if you know what I mean. Okay, and the green onions and the lemon wedges. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to give our noodles a chance to finish softening up and give you a chance to finish prepping anything you have to prep. And we'll let Lisa and Johanna talk about the nutrition component for a couple more minutes to give our noodles a chance to work all the way through.
Right. Well, we've already learned, we've already got really started on this recipe. So that now Joanna's going to share a little bit with us about the increasing fruit and vegetable consumption and some of those strategies about fruits and vegetables that help make our kids veggie lovers, and also help us eat more fruits and vegetables. And then also talk about my favorite thing and what I always teach in the schools about how we need to have a variety of fruits and vegetables because every different color of fruit and vegetable has different benefits to our body. So she's going to review some of that with you as well. And then we'll be going back over to Chef T. So I'm going to let Joanna get started.
Thank you, Lisa. You go to the next slide. Yes. So for today's agenda, we already started cooking the recipe with Chef T, and then we're gonna go over Eat the Rainbow, feeding best strategies for picky eaters, and then we're gonna have our closing, our thank you and our prizes. Okay, so Eat the Rainbow. So like Lisa mentioned, we want to talk about eating the rainbow and all of those different colored fruits and vegetables, and we know that those are all full of really good nutrients for everyone. And I wanted to ask you guys in the chat, which color do you guys eat the most? So it could either be the fruits or the vegetables. Just think of all of those that you eat and which color do you eat the most. You can answer that in the chat, and then we'll get started. So starting with the green foods, with this category, it's mainly vegetables, but there are some fruits as well. And we know that they lower your chance of getting cancer, as well as they keep your eyes healthy and they keep your bones and teeth strong. And then with the yellow and orange foods, and those are also a mix of fruits and vegetables, they keep your heart healthy and as well as your eyes. And they lower your chance of getting cancer as well, and they keep you from catching colds. And as we know, we always say, especially right now, since it's getting colder with the weather and cold and flu season, eating a lot of vitamin C, which is in oranges, it helps you with your immunity. And then going over the red foods, these also keep your heart healthy, and they keep your bladder healthy, and they keep your memory strong, as well as lowering your chance of getting cancer. And these also have the category, they have a lot of different fruits and vegetables, apples and tomatoes, and then another fruit, and as you can see in the image, is pomegranate, which is a fruit. And then we have the white foods, that they keep your heart healthy, and they also have good cholesterol levels, and they also lower your chance of getting cancer. And with the white foods, those are mainly a lot of vegetables like garlic, and then like mushrooms. That's a good white vegetable. And then we go to the next one, the blue and purple foods. And these are also a mix of fruits and vegetables, and they stay healthy. They keep you staying healthy as you age, and they keep your memory strong, as well as keeping your bladder healthy, and also lowering your chance of getting cancer. So these are mainly in fruits, the different colors, blue and purple, like grapes, and then like, blueberries and all the other types of berries. But there are some vegetables that come in these colors, like eggplant, and this is a good vegetable as an alternative if you don't want to eat meat. And we can go to the next slide. And we wanted to quickly talk about eatfresh.org. I know that a lot of the recipes that we're using and that we used for this workshop come from this website. So if you haven't, checked out this website yet, we encourage you guys to check it out. There's a lot of different recipes, a lot of different family-friendly recipes for kids, and then just for anything, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, as well as drinks if you want some healthy drink alternatives. And it's a really user-friendly website, and it also helps you measure out the different like the amounts when you're cooking. So if you want to cook, if it says right there it cooks for like 5 people, you could lower it if it's just for you, or you could increase it. So it does the math for you, so you don't have to go through there and do all of the math. So it's a really great recipe that we encourage you guys to check out and use, after this workshop series ends, for all of your recipes. So let me go for the next slide. And we wanted to talk about some positive feeding for school-age kids. And, we know that there are some challenges to feeding your kids. And if you guys want to put that in the chat as well, like what are the challenges that you guys face feeding your growing kids, and then we'll go through some tips with you guys. So next slide. So for, we can go back one. Yeah, so what are the challenges to feeding your growing kids? For elementary school kids, we know that they are beginning to understand where food comes from, and that some foods are good for their growing bodies. And this is something that they are learning in the schools with the many different programs that are offered there, and with the different departments like nutrition services. And then we know that there's Harvest of the Month and Team Nutrition. There's a lot of different programs that are in the schools that help your kids, teaching them all about fruits and vegetables. And we know that elementary school kids, they need to be active as well for their physical and mental health. So remembering that along with them eating healthy, they need to, incorporate that exercise every day. And that they want to do things their peers are doing. So it's good to educate, all of the kids, so that they all are doing the same thing, as in like learning about the different fruits and vegetables and modeling each other's healthy behaviors. And some elementary kids at this age, they may start feeling guilty about eating animals. So it's good to teach them about the different alternatives that are out there besides meat. There's a lot of kids that may not like eating meat, so they want to be vegetarian or even vegan. So teaching them about those different alternatives that they can eat. And they also benefit benefit from structured meal times as they develop these decision-making skills. So it's good to have a structured meal time within the schools and then as well as at home to keep that routine with them. Next slide. So talking about adolescents, we know that they may need to be active every day for physical and mental health because they are still growing, so they do need to incorporate that activity every day, and they may start to see connections between diet, physical appearance, and health. We know that there's a lot of peer pressure at school, and they may be adventurous with their food choices, so they are starting to try different things, have their own opinions about what they want to eat and what they don't want to eat. And they are vulnerable to peer pressure around what to eat and how to look. And they may gain weight more rapidly with all of the hormones that they're experiencing. So this is a more difficult category, but it is still good to, in this stage, to let them, make their own decisions, but, help them enable them with those healthy choices as well. So next slide. So one thing we want to share with you guys is make the time for mealtime, cooking together as a family, and then eating together, and then talking at the table as a family. And this workshop series really does focus on that for you guys to cook together as a family and turn off all of the social media devices, the cell phones, the TV, and just, sit there and talk. And you guys can also, talk about your day as well as talking about, what are they eating, the different meals that you guys prepared together. You guys, this is a good time for you guys to discover what your kids really like to eat, what they don't like to eat, and then, involve them more in the cooking process. Next slide. And then, making fruits and vegetables fun, letting the kids buy which produce they want to cook, and then, keeping a bowl of fresh fruit on the kitchen table as well so that they have access to, a healthy snack instead of, rummaging through like the cupboards, and, they're able to make those healthy choices on their own as well. And then washing and cutting the produce for them, like we said, making those snacks more accessible to them. And then letting them pick those fruits and vegetables at the store as well. And then experimenting with different dips and spice powders to make these foods more interactive for them. So, finding different ways for them to eat the fruits and vegetables, since we know that sometimes they can be a little bit boring for the kids. So, all these different dips and spices that are available out there, they would really, help the kids explore. And then I think now we could send it back to Chef T and see how those rice noodles are going.
All right, sounds good. We're going to take this back to Chef T now. And our students were sitting down, and now they're jumping back up.
Okay, are we ready? Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start our pancetta. Okay, what we're going to do, our noodles should be done. We're going to work with those in a minute. Where's your oil? Take your oil, you're going to pour a little bit of oil into your skillet. Your skillet is set on 350 degrees. Put a little bit more in there. You can just pour it in there. Okay, so what we're going to do, you have container, it has a container of onions, you have celery, and your onions or your celery, one of them should have garlic on top. Put all of that in your skillet. Yeah, go ahead, put it in your skillet. And somebody get the spatula. Who's going to be your stir? You have a spatula over there. Okay, hold on. What you're going to do is stir that around in your skillet, because what you're doing essentially is coating your vegetables with the oil, and that's going to help them saute. Okay, how are you doing? Okay, don't be scared to hold it. It won't hurt you. Come on, don't be scared to cook. It's just cooking. It sounds like it's popping and stuff, but there's nothing in it that's actually going to pop up on you. See how it starts to smell? That's because onions and celery and garlic, they're called aromatics. And they, when you start cooking them, they make the house smell, make people get ready to eat. Okay, so we sauteed those for a couple minutes. Now we're going to take our chicken and we're going to put that in there right on top of it. Here, just dump it in there. You dump your chicken in. And start stirring it up. Your bowls, as you empty them, as you empty your bowls, just stack the empty bowls inside each other so they won't take up a lot of room on your bench. Right. Then if you look at your chicken, see how your chicken is starting to turn white? So you want to stir it up and you want to keep stirring until your chicken is almost all white. Okay, just keep stirring it. You can use that. Both of y'all can stir it if you want. Okay, now if your skillet is hot like mine and your chicken is cooking, it should be about halfway done. And so we're going to also take at this time, and we're going to put our Chinese sausage in there. Now we're just going to continue to stir it. How do you guys like the way that smells? Now pay close attention to your chicken because sometimes it looks white and it's just a little bit pink. And sometimes some of the pieces are folded up, and the folded up pieces where they're folded are pink. And we want to make sure that all that is done. How are you guys doing, okay? Okay, is your chicken almost done? Because mine is. Now, if you wait a minute and you just smell it, you can smell how the Chinese sausage changed the smell of the onions and stuff. So how is your chicken? Is it done or is it still pink? Okay, we'll give you another minute because it will still continue to cook. Okay, now we're going to take our carrots and put those in there. That's right, continue to stir it. How are you guys doing? It looks good. Mine look like this. What do you guys look like? Does it look like this too? Like this? Does yours look like this too? Okay. Now we're going to take and we're going to put the cabbage in. Now, if you look and see, we're going to add the noodles and the frozen vegetables last. We're adding the frozen vegetables last because all they have to do is heat up. They don't really have to cook. So we're going to saute the cabbage in there. And as you see, it doesn't take cabbage that long to actually cook. Because we don't want it mushy. So now we're going to take our frozen vegetables and we're going to put those in here. And we're just going to let it continue to stir and cook. Okay, while this is cooking, check the status of your noodles. Are your noodles soft? Are your noodles soft? Okay, so what I'm going to have you guys do is take your noodles and dump them into the colander. Take your noodles, dump them right into that bowl right there. The whole thing. Let the water drain into the bowl. There you go. Shake them up and put that bowl inside the green bowl. You just stick that bowl inside the green bowl. Now, if you look at your noodles are long. Okay, so what I usually do, and it's supposed to be bad luck to cut the noodles. You're supposed to keep them long, but I don't like it when they hit me in the face and hit me all in the glasses. So I take them like this, take your knife, and just go through the bowl like this. Right, you're just pulling it through your bowl. Take the knife, pull the noodle, pull it through your noodles through the bowl. And all that's doing is just making them just a little bit smaller. Okay, you got them? Then you're gonna take your noodles, put them in your skillet. And the hard part is mixing everything together. So that's going to take some doing, and you're going to have to hold the handle of your skillet to get everything mixed without it falling all over the table like mine just did. Now stir it well, mix it together good. How does that look for you guys? How does yours look? And now we're going to take your soy sauce. It's about a quarter of a cup, that's what's in your cup, and just pour it in there. Pour it in there all over. And see how it kind of turns your noodles brown? You need to stir it till all your noodles are that color brown. Okay, are your noodles turning brown? How are you guys doing? Okay, and when it's done, it looks like this. Does yours look like this? Does yours look like this? Okay, so from this point, you could take it, season it with a little salt and pepper. Here's some over here, you can use this, and after you use it, let them use it. And this is what it looks like. And you put a couple lemons on the side, and that's your meal. Yeah. Okay. And that is how you make your pancit noodles. So we're going to turn it back over to Lisa and Johanna.
Thank you so much, Chef T. That just looks amazing. And I really was amazed by our students that were cooking along today and how they were able to easily follow along and prepare the meal. And it looks like it all went well from what I can tell. So it's exciting that this is something, a recipe that your own children can help you with. Also, when I was thinking about the prep time and things like that, I realized so we had to cut up a little bit of onion and we had to maybe make our chicken a little bit smaller. But if you were doing some meal prep earlier in the week, like the day after you grocery shopped and you went ahead and meal prepped and cooked up your meat and diced your vegetables and things so that you had everything ready to go when you got home, at the end of the day after picking up the kids and getting home from work. It would make meal times a lot faster too. So this is definitely a recipe that could have everything ready to go. And it's the ingredients that we use were very versatile as far as you're going to use diced onion and other things throughout the week. You're going to be using chicken throughout the week. So I encourage you to think too, as you're looking at recipes and choosing what you're going to prepare for your family, to think about how can I get 2 or 3 meals this week out of these ingredients? And I think this is one of those recipes that could be so versatile that you'd be able to choose it, a few times a month at least. So thank you so much, Chef T, for sharing all that with us. I was going to ask if there was anyone wanted to unmute and have any questions. Okay.
There was one comment in the chat about, I think it was about squash.
Oh,
I think it was Maria. She said that she doesn't know how to, Maria Montano, she doesn't know how to make a lot of recipes with squash. She only knows how to use them for decorations. I'm not sure what type of squash you were talking about, Maria, but I don't know if Chef T has any tips on how to incorporate different types of squash into recipes.
Calabacitas con huevo también.
Sopa de elote, lleva calabaza y elote.
It tastes, squash tastes good with balsamic vinegar, a regular bottle of balsamic vinegar, and you put your squash pieces in it, put them in the oven and roast them that way. It gives it a good flavor, and it actually takes some of the bitterness out of the squash. You can also take it and do like a ratatouille, where you take different squashes and some onions and carrots, and you saute them and put them in like a tomato sauce.
Disculpe,
And there are all kinds of things you
¿qué
can do
tipo
with
de noodles usó en la receta, la chef?
There's a quick question regarding what kind of noodles were used during the cooking.
For the pancit, we
Okay,
use rice
so-
noodles. They call them rice noodles. They call them glass noodles. You can also use bean bread noodles.
Lisa, can you go to the previous
Okay,
slide as
gracias.
well?
Ok, noodles de arroz, son blancos.
Are there any other questions that we have?
What do you guys think?
Hay soda, jugo. Hay
Does it
soda,
have enough
jugo.
salt, pepper? Do you need more soy sauce?
Okay, so let me
Huh?
find myself. So yes, you could go to the next slide, Lisa.
I think it's on their table.
sorry, I think we were having a confusion about the sound over here too. So, okay. Go ahead and there you go.
So one of the things that I just want to just say to our families is that we sent out a series of orders. So all of the families that have logged in either the last 4 sessions received a tote bag. And in that tote bag, which is like a grocery tote bag, it has the workbooks that Lisa has shown. One is a parent, an adult one, either English or Spanish, and then you receive one for a student as well. We also want to let you know too that we have, in this case, have received a couple different kitchen items that Health Education Council has sent over to our Twin Rivers, and we'll be sending those out to many of our families who came over, in this case, for 2 sessions or more. And then we have ordered these books, Rainbow Stew, Soba Zucchini, or Zucchini de Soda también. We ordered some of them in Spanish. And so we'll be sending those off to our families who have received in this case, more than, like who have attended 3 sessions, but I believe we'll probably have enough for those who requested as well. And then for our families that have attended 4 sessions or more, because we have been taking attendance after each session, what we're going to do is there's going to be a raffle that each of you have been placed to in this wheel of names that we could I'll show at the end of this session who will be our grand prize winner. But we also want to let you know too, for many of our families who have attended 4 sessions, you'll be receiving a Walmart gift card from us, in this case from Family Community Engagement and from Nutrition Services. And the way that will work is once we receive these gift cards from Walmart, we'll be contacting you each directly, and then we will work with either dropping it off with you and gathering your signature. And just as far as your commitment to attending, many, at least 4 sessions throughout the last, I believe it was at least 6 weeks that we've started this. So with that, I'm going to let Joanna and Lisa just go a little bit more just about next steps. And then what I could do at the end, I would just screen share my screen and then we'll see who the winner is. So with that, I'll let Lisa and Joanna and Chef T, maybe have some questions, some more information, and then we'll do the raffle at the end.
Okay, yes. And we really do appreciate your participation as we're all learning how to do cooking and nutrition education over Zoom and working to try to, work with outside the school district partners and make it all work so that we can just build it bigger and better. We have more in the works. We're looking to start something after the new year do another series with Health Education Council. Heriberto and I have already discussed that we're planning to have some kind of health fair or other type of fair where you're going to actually get to meet Chef T live, and we're going to have a lot of other demonstrations and things that we can share with you as well. So please stay on our mailing list and be looking out for these opportunities as they come up so that we have this chance to grow the program and help make a community with you. So anyway, we'd like to, is there anything else you'd like to add, Joanna?
Yeah, I wanted to see if you could let me share my screen so I could show the website, the eatfresh.org website. So let me start sharing. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So just quickly, because I know one of you guys, incorporating different vegetables into your recipes, you could actually type up here a certain vegetable, and then it'll show you different recipes that has that vegetable in there. So if you're having, trouble or you want to incorporate different vegetables into your recipes, you could type in that vegetable and then it'll show you all the different recipes that you could make with that vegetable. And then this website, you could also translate it into different languages. You just go up to the little globe and then you select the language that you want to translate it to. So it could be in Spanish or whichever other language that you want. So yeah, so if you guys want to check out this website, and hopefully this helps whoever needs help incorporating different vegetables.